The rain battered the rusty tin roof of the one-room shack in Kibera, drowning out the sound of Amani's sobbing. The room was cold, smelling of wet earth and impending heartbreak. "Pregnant?" Juma asked, his voice sharp. He looked around their tiny home with disgust. "Amani, look at us. We eat sukuma wiki every night. I fix cars for rich people while I stay poor, and you want to bring a baby here to suffer?" "It is a blessing, Juma," Amani pleaded, clutching her stomach. "We have love, we will survive." "Love does not pay rent," Juma snapped, zipping his duffel bag. "I am tired of struggling. Madam Zari has offered me a real life in Runda. I choose money, Amani, not this." He opened the door, letting the storm rush in. "Don't look for me. Go back to your village." Without a backward glance, Juma stepped into the dark alleyway, leaving Amani alone in the cold, holding the life he had just rejected. Do you think Juma will regret leaving his unborn child for a rich woman? Or is he smart to escape the poverty of the slums? If you want to see how karma works in this story, please hit the subscribe button right now. Don't miss what happens next. To understand why Juma walked out, you have to know about the temptation of Madam Zari. Juma worked at a busy garage along Ngong Road. He was the best fundi there. He could listen to an engine and tell you exactly which screw was loose. 3 weeks ago, a massive, shiny Land Cruiser V8 pulled into the yard. It looked like a spaceship compared to the battered matatus around it. The window rolled down, and Madam Zari looked out. She wore big sunglasses and expensive jewelry that glittered in the sun. "Hey you," she called out. "My car is making a noise. Fix it." Juma rushed over. "Yes, madam." He fixed the problem in 30 minutes. When he was done, Madam Zari didn't ask for the bill. She opened her purse and handed him a bundle of cash. 20,000 shillings. It was more than Juma made in 2 months. "Keep the change," she said, eyeing him up and down. "You are too handsome to be covered in grease. Do you know who I am?" "No, madam." "I am Madam Zari. I import goods from Dubai and China. I need a personal assistant, someone young, someone hungry." She handed him a gold-embossed card. "Call me." Juma called her that same night. They met at expensive restaurants in Westlands. She bought him designer shoes. She showed him a life of ease. "Leave that slum girl," Zari told him one evening, sipping wine in her mansion in Runda. "Come live here. I will make you a manager. You will wear suits. You will be respected." The contrast was too much. Amani represented struggle and counting coins. Zari represented power and unlimited cash. When Amani mentioned the baby, Juma didn't see a child. He saw a padlock locking him in poverty forever. So he chose the money. That rainy night, Juma arrived at Madam Zari's gate in Runda. The electric gates opened silently. The house was huge with white pillars and a swimming pool. Zari was waiting in the lounge. "You made the right choice, Juma," she smiled. "Go shower. Tomorrow we buy you new clothes. You are a Nairobi big man now." Juma looked at the chandeliers. He told himself he was smart. He told himself Amani would survive. But deep down, a small voice whispered that he had just sold his soul for a V-pit. The morning after Juma left, reality hit Amani hard. The landlord, a grumpy man named Mr. Kamau, no relation to Juma, banged on the door at 6 a.m. "Mama, where is that man of yours?" Amani opened the door, eyes red from crying. He has gone." "Gone? And my rent?" Mr. Kamau barked. "If you don't have the money by evening, pack your things. I have 10 people waiting for this room." Amani searched the house. Juma had taken everything of value. She had nothing. She packed her few clothes and her most prized possession, an old manual sewing machine, into a sack. She walked to Gikomba market, carrying the heavy machine on her back. She found a small corner under a leaking canvas sheet. "Repairs. I do repairs," she called out to the shoppers. But the rain kept falling. It was cold. Amani hadn't eaten. She felt dizzy. As she tried to thread a needle, her vision blurred and she slumped forward, fainting into the mud. "Ngai, the girl has fallen," someone shouted. A strong hand grabbed her. Amani opened her eyes to see a large woman with a colorful head wrap looking down at her. It was Mama Fatuma, the queen of the fabric sellers. She was known for her loud voice and no-nonsense attitude. "Are you sick?" Mama Fatuma asked, feeling Amani's forehead. "You are burning, and you are pregnant." "Yes, Mama," Amani whispered. "I have nowhere to go." "Eish, men are useless," Mama Fatuma hissed. She lifted Amani up effortlessly. "Come, you cannot sleep in the mud." She took Amani to her large stall, which was filled with rolls of kitenge and silk. She gave Amani hot chai and a mandazi. You have a sewing machine, Mama Fatuma observed. Can you use it? Yes, Mama, I can sew anything. Mama Fatuma threw a torn, expensive dress at her. Fix this. If you do a good job, you can stay here and help me. You can sleep in the back store, but I don't like lazy people. Amani's hands worked quickly. Within minutes, the dress was perfect. Mama Fatuma inspected it and nodded. You have talent, she said. You stay, we will work together. You and that baby will be fine. Amani cried tears of relief. Asante, Mama. Thank you.
6 months passed. Life with Madame Zari was not the paradise Juma expected. It was a prison with golden bars. Juma was now manager Juma. He wore suits, he drove a pristine car, but he had no money of his own. Zari controlled every cent. She checked his phone, she tracked his car. She told him who to talk to. Sign this, Juma, she would say, tossing a stack of papers on the breakfast table. What is it, Zari? Juma asked. Stop asking questions, she snapped. It's just clearance forms for the containers at Mombasa port. You are the manager, so your name must be on them. Juma signed. He always signed. He signed for containers labeled electronics he never saw. He signed for land transfers in places he didn't know. He started noticing strange things. Shady men in dark glasses visiting the house at midnight. Whispered conversations about bribing the officers and fake licenses. One night, Juma overheard Zari on the phone. Don't worry, she laughed. If the police find the contraband in the containers, my name is not on the papers. Juma signed everything. He will go to jail, not me. Juma's blood ran cold. He stood frozen in the hallway. Contraband? Jail? He realized he was just a puppet, a scapegoat. He went to his room and sat on the bed. He thought of Amani. She must have given birth by now. Was she okay? Did she have food? He missed her simple cooking. He missed her laughter. Here, he had steak and wine, but he had no peace. Meanwhile, Amani was rising. She gave birth to a healthy baby boy. She named him Baraka, blessing. With Mama Fatuma's help, Amani started making her own designs. She mixed traditional kitenge prints with modern styles. The women in Nairobi loved it. Who made this? They would ask. It is beautiful. That is Amani's work, Mama Fatuma would boast. One day, a wealthy lady from Muthaiga came to the stall. She saw Amani sketching. I need a dress for a wedding, something unique. Amani made her a stunning gown. The lady was so happy she paid double and told all her friends. Soon, rich women were driving their Mercedes-Benzes to Gikomba just to find Amani. Amani saved every shilling. She moved out of the market stall and rented a small, clean shop in a better area. She looked at baby Baraka and whispered, "Your father left us in the rain, but God has brought us into the sun." Juma has just realized he is being set up for a serious crime. What should he do? Go to the DCI? Run away? Confront Zari? Tell us what you would do in the comments below. Time reveals all things. 5 years later, Amani was the CEO of Amani Couture, a high-end fashion house in the upscale neighborhood of Kilimani. Her shop was elegant, with glass windows and soft lighting. She employed 15 tailors. Mama Fatuma, now retired from the rough market life, sat in the shop as the supervisor, keeping everyone disciplined. Amani was beautiful. Success suited her. She carried herself with grace. Baraka was now a smart 5-year-old boy who loved to draw cars and buildings. One sunny afternoon, a sleek Range Rover pulled up. A dignified older man stepped out. It was Mzee Kipto, a billionaire businessman known for his integrity. "Karibu, Mzee," the security guard saluted. Mzee Kipto walked into the shop. "I am looking for the owner," he said in a deep, calm voice. "I am the owner, sir," Amani said, stepping forward with a smile. "My daughter insists that only Amani Couture can make her wedding dress. She says you have the best hands in Nairobi." Amani smiled. "We would be honored, Mzee." Mzee Kipto watched her work. He saw her patience with her staff. He saw her love for her son Baraka, who was doing his homework in the corner. "Where is the boy's father?" Mzee Kipto asked gently. Amani said, "He chose a different path, Mzee. He wanted a fast life. I wanted a good life." Mzee Kipto nodded. A foolish man throws away a diamond to pick up a rock. Over time, Mzee Kipto became a mentor and a close friend to Amani. He admired her strength. Meanwhile, Juma was trapped. He was a nervous wreck. He had tried to leave Zari, but her bodyguards threatened him. "You leave and I say so, or the police get the file with your signatures." The business was getting dangerous. They were importing illegal ivory and fake medicines. Juma lived in constant fear. Then came the invitation to the Nairobi Business Excellence Awards at the Villa Rosa Kempinski Hotel. "Wear your tuxedo," Zari ordered. "We are going to celebrate. I just closed a big deal." Juma felt sick. He knew the deal was a scam involving public land, but he had no choice.
The ballroom at the Kempinski was glittering with lights. The richest people in Kenya were there: politicians, musicians, tycoons. Juma walked behind Madam Zari like a servant. He kept his head down, hoping no one would recognize him as the fraud he felt he was. They sat at a VIP table. Zari drank champagne and laughed loudly. Juma just stared at his water. Then the host went on stage. "Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the main award of the night, the Entrepreneur of the Year." The screens lit up. A video played, showing a woman's journey from a market stall to a fashion empire. Juma frowned. The woman looked familiar. "Please welcome Miss Amani of Amani Couture." Juma stopped breathing. The doors opened and Amani walked in. She was breathtaking. She wore a royal blue gown with African print accents. She looked like a queen. Walking beside her was Mzee Kiptu, looking proud, and holding her hand was little Baraka, dressed in a tiny suit. The room erupted in applause. Juma stood up, knocking over his chair. "Amani?" Zari looked at him. "Sit down. Do you know her?" "That is Amani," Juma whispered, tears in his eyes. "That is the girl I left in the slum." Zari laughed, a cruel, harsh sound. "That market girl? Well, she looks expensive now, but don't think about it, Juma. You belong to me." Juma watched Amani go on stage. She took the microphone. "Thank you," she said, her voice clear. 5 years ago, I was left in the rain with nothing but a sewing machine and a baby in my belly. I thought it was the end, but I learned that sometimes God removes people from your life to protect your destiny. I dedicate this award to my son, Baraka." Juma felt his heart break. He had chased the fake gold and lost the real diamond. The next morning, Juma made a decision. Zari was asleep, hungover. Her guards were outside eating breakfast. Juma ran to the safe in the study. He knew the code. He grabbed the black file, the one with the evidence of the illegal imports and the fake land deals where Zari was the mastermind. He climbed over the back wall of the compound, tearing his suit, and ran. He didn't stop running until he reached Kilimani. He burst into Amani Couture. Customers screamed as the disheveled, sweating man ran in. "Amani! Amani!" Juma shouted. Amani came out of her office. She stopped cold. "Juma!" Juma fell to his knees. "Amani, please, I am sorry. I was a fool. Zari, she is a criminal. I have been a prisoner. Please forgive me. Let me see my son." Amani looked at him. She didn't see the handsome mechanic she used to love. She saw a broken man. "You want forgiveness now that I am successful? Where were you when Baraka and I were sleeping on a mat in Gikomba?" "I made a mistake," Juma cried. "We can be a family again. I can help you." "Baraka," Amani called. The little boy ran out. "Yes, Mama?" He looked at Juma. "Who is this man, Mama?" Juma sobbed. "I am your Baba." Baraka looked confused. He pointed to the door where Mzee Kiptu was walking in. "But Baba Kiptu is here." Baraka ran to Mzee Kiptu and hugged him. Juma felt his soul shatter. "Amani," Juma pleaded, holding up the black file. "I have proof. This file sends Zari to jail. I did it for you." Suddenly, sirens wailed. Police cars screeched to a halt outside. Madam Zari stormed in with DCI officers. "There he is, that thief. He stole my confidential documents, and he's the one behind all the illegal imports. Arrest him." The police grabbed Juma. "No, read the file," Juma screamed. "It proves she's the boss." The DCI commander took the file. He looked at it. Then he looked at Mzee Kiptu. Mzee Kiptu stepped forward. "Officer," he said, "I have already spoken to the Inspector General. We have been investigating Madam Zari for months. That file is the final piece of evidence." Zari's face went pale. "Mzee, what?" "Arrest her," the commander ordered. The police handcuffed Zari. She screamed and cursed as they dragged her out. "And you, Juma," the commander said, handcuffing him too. "You signed the papers. You are part of the game. You are going down too." "Amani, help me!" Juma shouted as they dragged him away. Amani stood with Mzee Kiptu and Baraka. She looked at Juma with pity. "Goodbye, Juma. I forgave you long ago, but I cannot save you from the bed you made."
The scandal was on every news channel in Kenya. Madam Zari was sentenced to 20 years for corruption and trafficking. Juma, because he cooperated, got 5 years. Prison in Kamiti was hard. Juma had no suits, no V8, just cold stone walls and regret. He thought about the rain in Kibera. He thought about the open door. He realized he had walked out on his biggest blessing. 5 years later, Juma was released. He was thin and looked old. He went to Kilimani. He stood across the street from Amani Couture. It was a massive building now. A billboard showed Amani's smiling face. A luxury SUV pulled up. Baraka, now 10 years old and tall, jumped out. Then Amani, then Sekib too. They held hands, laughing. They were a family. Amani looked across the street. She saw the lonely figure standing there. She paused. She nodded once, a final goodbye, and walked into her bright future. Juma turned and walked away, towards the Matutu stage. He was going back to the village to start over. He had learned the hard way that not everything that glitters is gold. Amani and Msekib Tu's foundation changed thousands of lives. Baraka grew up wise, strong, and kind. As for Juma, he became an old village mechanic, wiping grease from his hands and telling anyone who would listen, "I once had a queen, but I chased a fake crown and lost it all." Patience and loyalty are worth more than quick money. Never despise humble beginnings, and never trade a genuine person for temporary riches. What is meant for you requires you to be present and work for it. Thank you for reading this story. If you believe that your own destiny is greater than your current struggle, type Amani in the comments section below. Please subscribe, like, and share this story with your friends. It helps us bring you more African stories. See you next time.